We're ready to roll.
You're wearing your Illinois shirt. Tie.
I don't have a Thanksgiving
Was it turkey
theme.
chicken?
Chicken wings. It's as close as I could get to the holiday spirit. I got my Christmas ties coming next month.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, will you call the roll?
Yes. Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zora?
Here.
Council?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Caputo?
Here.
Trustee Diaferio?
Here.
President DeCipio? A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. First is public participation. Would anyone care to address the board? Okay, so we'll move on to consent agenda, Megan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, Village Board meeting, October 28th, 2025. 2, Village Board work session, November 11th, 2025. B, action, notice of annual schedule of regular meetings. Motion to approve a resolution approving the annual schedule of Village Board regular meeting dates for 2026. C, action, accounts payable and payroll summary. Motion 1, to authorize the President and Chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the Treasurer and Village Clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. And motion 2, to authorize the Village Treasurer and Village Clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next Village Board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Thank you, Megan. Motion to approve consent agenda is presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council? Yes. Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diaferio?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, moving on to Village Manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one item to report on this evening. It's an important update for the Village Board. As the board is aware, the Village of Grange Park has been working to substantially update its emergency operations plan. And just today, our fire chief, Dean Magus, provided me with an important update that I wanted to share with folks this evening. There have been some updates to our emergency operations plan over the years, and the last major overhaul of this plan was back in 2007. The Illinois Emergency Management Act requires that we, or any municipality, maintain an emergency operation plan that complies with standards by the Illinois Emergency Act agency. And the update and revisions that we have been working on, that the fire department has been working on, along with other members of staff, those revisions have been done in accordance with these requirements. As the board is also aware, the village secured the services of Integrated Consulting Solutions to assist with the revisions and the update most recently. And they worked with us to build and develop the EOP with the Cook County Department of Emergency Management and Regional Security's Knowledge Management System, also known as KMS. You may recall that from our previous conversation. The KMS is a live, secure, cloud-based system that provides accessibility to plan templates and completed EOPs. I am happy to report from the fire chief that as of 2 weeks ago, the overall revisions and updates to the EOP have been completed. Over the last few months, staff spent many hours working with ICS to make this happen, our consulting firm. And as of today, ISC activated the components of the plan in the KMS into that system that allowed for the fire chief to formally publish and authorize the plan. So as of today, the plan is active, and this is no small accomplishment. In the coming weeks, we'll be reaching out to village staff and village officials in order to provide them with proper credentials to access the plan in KMS for use in emergencies and disasters. Also, in the coming months, we would like to meet with village staff and the village board to review the EOP and also review the overall emergency management operations and capacities of the emergency management function within the village. And with that, that completes my report. I would just like to congratulate Fire Chief Magus for his work, as well as everyone that contributed to the plan. And this is really good news and big news for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. And Chief, to you and the staff that provided you information to get to this point of completion of the EOP, it's something we need. It's something we should all be aware of. Thankfully, we haven't had to use it to any extreme within my tenure here. So congratulations on all the hard work and putting this together and giving us the document that we so desire and need. Thank you, Chief. Okay, Administration Committee, Trustee Council.
Thank you, President DeCipio. My report is as follows. The speed limit reduction on LaGrange Road. Earlier this month, IDOT completed installation of new signage along LaGrange Road between Ogden Avenue and 31st Street, officially reducing the speed limit from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour, following formal approval received the previous week. This outcome reflects the village's longstanding effort to improve safety along the corridor and the progress made through this year's quote-unquote Take 5 campaign, which involved extensive local advocacy, communication with IDOT, and engagement with legislators in Springfield. The speed reduction is one component of the village's broader strategy to enhance pedestrian accessibility, calm traffic, and support safer multimodal travel on LaGrange Road, with additional measures continuing to advance through ongoing collaboration with IDOT and legislative partners. Village offices closed. The village offices will be closed on Thursday, November 27 and Friday, November 28 in observance of Thanksgiving. Regular office hours will resume on Monday, December 1 at 9:00 a.m. Tree lighting ceremony. The village's annual tree lighting ceremony will take place on Friday, December 5th at 6:00 p.m. at Memorial Park. The celebration will include performances, refreshments, and other festivities. Residents are invited to bring the whole family to this free event and enjoy hot chocolate, caroling, live music, and lots of holiday cheer. Santa Parade and Food Drive. Save the date for the village's Santa Parade and mobile food drive on Sunday, December 14. This festive parade will travel throughout the village and collect donations for local food pantries along the way. Stay tuned for more information and the parade route also. 2026 Road Bond Referendum. Investing in LaGrange Park's future. The village of LaGrange Park has launched a dedicated webpage with details about the 2026 Road Bond Referendum, which will appear on the March 17, 2026 general primary election ballot. The referendum seeks voter approval to issue $10 million in bonds to continue funding the village's road improvement program over the next decade without increasing the village portion of property taxes. The new bonds would replace the 2016 road and fire equipment bonds, ensuring ongoing investment in street resurfacing, drainage improvements, and other critical infrastructure. Visit lagrangepark.org to learn more about the referendum. I have another item in my packet for the evening. This is regarding the ADA transition plan. The general background. In 2023, the village board approved a resolution to accept planning technical assistance services through the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, also known as CMAP. As part of this initiative, CMAP provided consultant-led support to help the village develop an ADA self-evaluation and transition plan in compliance with Title II of the American with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. Since that time, village staff has worked closely with CMAP and Oates Associates to assess public right-of-way infrastructure and identify non-compliant assets. This process focused on improving accessibility of sidewalks, crosswalks, curb ramps, landings, parking lots, and structures, transit stops, stations, and shelters throughout the village. At the October 14, 2025 work session meeting, the consultant team presented an overview of the project, including the planning process, data collection efforts, community engagement, a village-wide prioritization map, and proposed next steps. Following the presentation, a 30-day public comment period began on October 21, 2025. All comments received have been reviewed and considered for inclusion in the final ADA transition plan. The accompanying approval resolution, including the final ADA transition plan, is attached for our consideration tonight. Staff recommends approval of the ADA transition plan. This item is for discussion and action. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution approving the Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan for public sidewalks within the village of Grange Park.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Trustee Council?
Thank you, President DeCipio. I think that this is a very good initiative, and obviously it's new to us, but it's not new to the surrounding areas. And I feel that it will help with a lot of our residents who have some difficulties in traversing the sidewalks and traversing our streets as well. So I fully support this initiative, and hopefully it will help out.
Thank you, Trustee Council. We have with us tonight Travis Hellkamp from Oates and Stephen Ostrander from CMAP. Welcome. Thank you guys for all the work you put into this. Any comments you would like to make?
I think you guys should be proud of yourselves. That's my
Thank you.
comment is, there was a study done only 5 or 6 years ago now. I think like 11% of the communities in Northeast Illinois have an ADA transition plan. So, like when you hear it, you sound like you're behind. You guys are up front. So I hope you guys are proud that you guys took this initiative.
Well, thank you, Travis and Stephen, and thank you guys for the work that you helped us get to this point. Without your help, we would still be, well, our staff probably would have taken on and done it. So, yeah, but thank you anyway for your help.
I have full faith in you.
Knowing our staff though as well as you do, you know. Any comments from the board? Trustee Lautner?
Thanks, Mr. President. Obviously, I think everyone will really agree the importance of this, and we're all, behind this. While it doesn't commit us to an initial or an immediate financial allocation for this year, I can tell you it's going to be a big item of discussion representing the Finance Committee, and I know with staff that we'll be talking a lot about this as the 26-27 budgeting process, which is underway already, will be a key part of that discussion to make sure that we fund this appropriately as we start working toward the implementation of this plan.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Any other comments? I will make a historical reference again, if those of you didn't catch it last time. But Stephen Ostrander is a descendant of our street name, Ostrander. Great, 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 great grandfather or something?
Yes. The family came over from the Netherlands in 1661.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So I'm part of that family.
Well,
Cool.
we're proud to have a street named after your family. Thank you, Stephen. And Travis, thank you.
No street name now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hell Camp, we're working on the sign right now.
Excellent.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner.
Yes.
Trustee Zora.
Yes.
Trustee Council.
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Caputo.
Yes.
Trustee Diaferio. The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you both.
President DeCipio,
Trustee Law, Trustee Council, yes?
I had, I don't know if it should be under new business or if I can
If you don't think, then it should.
read it now.
It should be under new business.
Under new
Does it have
business?
reference to your committee?
It has reference to my committee, one of the topics that we just discussed, that I just presented.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So 10 years ago, when we had our village referendum for the roads and the fire truck and ambulance, you had convened a special meeting at Matone's to address some of those concerns and to address the upcoming proposal, consisting of a group of residents. I was one of those residents along with my husband and several others. And at that time, we were told that the village could not publicize or expend any funds to pass the proposed referendums. So a committee was formed with our then lobbyist, Chris Ganschow, God rest his soul. A plan was developed to publicize the need for passage of the referenda. The publicity consisted of mailings to residents informing them of the need for the road repairs and fire equipment, flyers, a newspaper ad, and yard signs, and all of these publicity initiatives were done at no cost to the village. Now, as it stands, the village is proposing another referendum for our roads, and which I think is a big necessity. But my concern is the village is heavily involved with all aspects of publicizing the need for this referendum through the village websites, e-briefs, and you know, in the last referendum that we had, we hosted the town hall meeting, and there was a special rose clippings that came out to expand on the initiative. But my question is, are there limitations as to what we can do and how much further we can get involved as a village? Because, you know, I'm a little concerned about that.
Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I can start off. I think it's an excellent question, and I appreciate you bringing it up. So I'm going to just start it off, and then I'm going to punt to the village attorney, because the village attorney can explain the legal limitations of our role as it relates to a ballot initiative. So we are limited to education only and encouraging people to vote. In terms of how do we get information out to the residents to educate them about the road bond and the road program and this initiative so that they are informed, we created the website, but we also created, I feel like I'm echoing a little bit. Let me push up, we're good. We created an educational timeline. It was shared with the board a few months ago. So we are looking at doing a town hall meeting in January for this particular initiative to provide an education. And we also anticipate that we'll do a little bit of a tour like we did last time around, where President DeCipio and I visited other boards and commissions throughout the community to be able to provide that educational presentation and answer any questions as it relates to the initiative. We cannot be a proponent of it. We are limited under the law as far as what we can do and what we can spend money on. And from here, I'm going to turn it over to Mike.
Yeah, good evening. Village manager hit it on the nail on the head. It's as simple as the election code says, that a municipal entity, both corporate body, staff, consultants, we cannot advocate for or against a referendum, but you can provide objective educational materials to the community so they can be informed as to the decision that has to be made. And they have to ultimately make that decision, whether it's a yes vote or a no vote. But using a website, having a town hall, providing questions to answers based on, again, objective educational materials that relate to the initiative, the referendum ballot initiative, are allowed under the Illinois Election Code.
So thank you for your clarification of that. And so basically, it's the same as it was the last time around, and I really appreciate that. And I know that not everybody in this room was around 10 years ago, so I think it's a good refresher, and I look forward to putting information out there that residents can rely on for their purposes. So I appreciate your answer, Julia, and as well as council. Thank you.
One additional comment, residents can do that advocacy, the village cannot. And we are currently working on the PowerPoint for that educational presentation for January. So we're pulling together all the images, the figures. Staff, the village engineer, they're aware of the questions that we're trying to get clarified to make sure that we have the most accurate information in that educational piece. We do have a very thorough, frequently asked questions document, very long, very thorough on the village's website. We have received some questions. Director Ratty has met with one resident who had several questions, answered those questions, and provided materials. And with that, I'll close.
Thank you very much for all of your.
So trustee council, before we move on, you're comfortable with moving forward and everything?
Absolutely.
Good, okay.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Can I
Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a question, maybe Attorney Jerusik on this one. So in the meantime, from now until Election Day, if a resident sees one of us on the street and starts asking, I mean, we don't, and none of us up here want to be accused of electioneering or, you know, sending somebody, you know, or any of us getting in trouble. So, I mean, I can't tell an 80-year-old woman or man, go to the website. Maybe just as simple as contacting Julie or Rick.
That would be appropriate.
It's about all we can do, correct?
Yes, because you really can't take your trustee hat
Correct.
off. You're a trustee 24/7, so even trustees can't advocate for it against a referendum initiative. I would just redirect them back to the manager.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Lautner?
That was precisely my question. Thank you.
Great minds think alike, huh?
1 and 1/8.
Okay, moving on to building and zoning. Trustee Zora?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the building department activities for October of 2025. 84 building permits were issued in October 2025 compared to 85 in 2024. Year-to-date, the building department has issued 683 permits, which is slightly more than the 642 permits issued year-to-date at this time last year. Estimated construction costs for last month were just over $1.7 million, which is less than the just over $2.7 million that was realized in October 2024. The higher construction costs last year can be attributed to Jules' major remodeling project and the Alphabet Learning Center expansion project. Permit fees collected last month equaled $37,653, which was less than the $46,370 of permit fees collected in October 2024. 189 building inspections were conducted this past month compared to 207 in October 2024. 5 inspections failed, and the remaining were approved. Year to date, the department has conducted 1,474 building inspections, which is slightly less than the 1,541 building inspections completed last year. A total of 8 new code enforcement cases were recorded. 4 of those cases were closed out, and the remaining 4 cases require further code enforcement action, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Okay, moving on to engineering capital projects.
Thank you, Mr.
Ariel?
President. Thank you, Mr. President. Here's our engineering and capital project summary report for October 2025. 2025 water main improvement project. Girardi Sewer and Water has completed the water main work and has transferred all water services to the new pipe. Restoration of the pavements and parkways will be carried out in the first 2 weeks of November, and the installation of the flushing station on Castle Circle is planned for mid-November. Based on current progress, we anticipate substantial completion before Thanksgiving, which is well before contract completion date of December 12, 2025. 2025-2026 sewer maintenance programs. Item number 1, suburban general construction completed all sewer repairs and completed restoration of the pavements, sidewalls, and parkways that were impacted by the repairs. We have completed a punch list inspection of the work and are awaiting their schedule to complete that work. Item 2, Visu Sewer of Illinois has completed the sewer cleaning and videoing of the sewer for this year's project. We will review the sewer videos to ensure the video quality is acceptable upon delivery to our office. Item 3, Horror Construction will complete a confirmation video of the sewer on Homestead Avenue that will be lined as part of this year's program. They have indicated that they will begin the lining process the week of November 23rd, with lining complete before Thanksgiving. 25-26 roadway maintenance programs. Crack filling program. Denler completed crack filling at the end of this month. Work has concentrated on streets west of LaGrange Road. Sidewalk replacement program. J. Narduli Construction is scheduled to come into the village in mid-November to begin their work. They intend to complete their work before Thanksgiving. Paving patching program. Schroeder Asphalt Services, Inc., and they will complete the work after Thanksgiving. And that concludes our report for October.
Thank you, Trustee Diaferio. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Caputo.
Yes, thank you, President DeCipio. I have a few items on my agenda tonight. First, we'll start with the Police Department summary activities for October 2025. Total number of crimes reported to date this year are 33% lower than last year, with 167 reported this year compared to 234 last year. Traffic enforcement is at 3,242 total tickets issued through October of this year. This includes adjudication and state-issued traffic citations. Overall police activity is at 1,014 incidents for the month of October. Of those 1014 total incidents, 221 were self-initiated building or park checks, 199 were traffic stops, and 50 were closed home checks. Department members attended 302 hours of training, along with the completion of required monthly online training and Lexipol daily training bulletins. This does not include field training and police academy training hours. Chief Contois, Deputy Chief Morocco, and Commander Griffin attended a 2-day crisis communications class hosted by Chris Cavelli at NIPS TA, while Detective Sergeant Rent and Detective Spurgish attended the Illinois Homicide Investigators Conference. Police Department staff assisted with several Friday night Nazareth football games. Deputy Chief Morocco and Chief Contois attended the International Association of Police Chief Conference in Denver, Colorado. The staff assisted with numerous school lockdown drills, along with neighborhood races and runs. And the PD staff, in conjunction with the DEA, participated in the annual Drug Take Back Day on October 25th. We collected over 75 pounds of expired or unused pharmaceutical drugs. Thanks to everyone who dropped off items for proper disposal. And as a reminder, the police department has a drop-off box in the lobby available for residents during normal business hours. The police department took part in the library trunk or treat event, the Ogden Avenue School Bike Parade, the St. Francis Homecoming Parade, and finally the Chamber Haunted Trolley. And Chief Contois attended and participated both after-hour village events hosted by the fire department, too, pertaining to the 31st Street Transportation Plan and the Neighborhood Dialogue. The Grange Park FOP Lodge 243 hosted its annual Burger Bash in conjunction with Postal 31, and over $10,900 was raised for the Illinois Special Olympics Torch Run. Thank you all for your support. Continued support. And then a friendly reminder for securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residence, especially during their overnight hours. And if you're going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.com/Grange Park, or log on to the village website and access the portal under the police department page. And if you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the police department between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. On to the fire department report for October. Let's see what we have here. EMS incidents this month, 134. There have been 1,733 year-to-date, compared to 1,581 year-to-date 24. Fire rescue incidents this month equaled 63. There have been 661 year-to-date compared to 564 year-to-date 24. And after much preparation, our ISO survey to determine our property protection classification took place on October the 1st. Throughout the month, more work took place in order to provide additional and updated documentation, which was submitted on October 30th. And in conjunction with Fire Prevention Week, several fire safety public education presentations took place at all nearly all schools throughout the month. And also our annual open house took place on October 11th. There was great weather and a great crowd, and we were able to raise $871 for the Camp I Am Me, a burn camp for children. Personnel also participated in the annual silent parade running from Hinsdale to Lisle, which is dedication to all those who have lost their lives to fire. And a lot of training took place during the month, including but not limited to the following Personnel continued training at 1024 Newberry. Fire apparatus operator certification training was conducted. FF, EMT, Veronica Gussie attended the Fire Service Woman of Illinois training event held at the U of I Fire Service Institute in Champaign. Personnel conducted vehicle extrication training, and personnel participated in a multi-faceted training exercise involving rescue task force and hazardous material team responses in Hinsdale, simulating an active shooter and drug lab explosion with multiple victims. Recruitment efforts continue with another interest orientation meeting held at Fire Station 1. Chief Magos attended a portion of the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association Conference in Peoria, attending sessions on AI, wellness initiatives, and communication risk reduction. He also received his 25-year pin. Congratulations, by the way, Chief. Retired firefighter Art Schuett stopped by Station 1 this month, where he was formally honored by placing his badge on our new retiree display case. And 3 public events were held at Fire Station number 2 this month: the 31st Street Corridor Transportation Public Open House, the 2nd Neighborhood Dialogue, and the Haunted Trolley Open House. I have one incident of interest to share with you. The fire department responded to a 2-family dwelling in the 300 block of North LaGrange Road, where a resident fell asleep and left a candle heating in a pot on the stovetop overnight on the burner. The candle melted down and a pool of wax caught fire. Luckily, as it was a non-working smoke detector, the resident awoke to the fire along with her young daughter and was able to fight the fire with her sprayer from the sink. There was damage to the range and ventilation fan above and soot throughout the living room unit. Firefighters shut off the gas, de-energized the range and fan, and also provided and installed a new smoke alarm for the tenant prior to leaving the scene. Thank God everybody's okay there. I have one more item on my agenda, and hold on one second. Okay, this one is regarding the Cook County health inspections. Staff seeks approval for renewing an agreement with Cook County to allow the Cook County Department of Public Health to continue conducting food establishment inspections within the village. In our current intergovernmental agreement with Cook County expires this November 30th, and Cook County Department of Public Health has provided health inspection services to our village since April of 2001. And the system overall has continued to work very well. Once again, the overall content of this new agreement would remain unchanged, including the fees charged for inspections. And the current fee is set at $100 per inspection. It was implemented in 2014. As a reminder, the village invoices the individual facilities for the required inspections and for any needed follow-up inspections. The staff recommends entering into another contract with the Cook County for health inspection services effective December 1st of 2025 through November 30th of 2026. This item is for discussion and action, and the motion is to approve a resolution authorizing the approval and execution of an intergovernmental agreement between Village of Grange Park and the Cook County and the County of Cook for environmental health inspection services. Again, the term is December 1st of 2025 through November 30th of 26.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Caputo.
Well, I remember last year voting on this same agenda, and I feel this is good, and it's great to know that the fee hasn't gone up, so nobody should complain that it's unaffordable, because we've had the same fee for since many years. Looks like since 2014. So I think it's great that we have this relationship, and like I read, it says that the system overall seems to be working very well. So let's continue on with it and keep everybody safe and healthy.
Thanks, trustee Caputo. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
And that concludes my agenda. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Public Works, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we'll start out with the Public Works report for October. Public Works repaired 2 water main breaks this month and replaced 2 leaking lead service lines. 1 hydrant modification kit was completed and 1 fire hydrant was replaced. The final brush collection of the year was completed the first full week of October. Brush pickup will start again in the spring of 2026. Staff assisted with the fall decor program. Seasonal lighting was hung from the light poles on 31st Street, along with the distribution of hay bales, corn stalks, and pumpkins to participating businesses throughout the village. It looked great. Thank you to the person on the youth commission that came up with the idea. Tree dedication was held to honor retired village attorney Kathy Keating here at Village Hall. Water and sewer disconnects were completed at 1024 Newberry in preparation for the fire department's training and demolition. Matt Smith attended the Illinois Public Service Institute in Effingham. Next year will be his final year for attendance to complete the program. Employees had OSHA training on silica hazards and requirements. Truck 630 was outfitted with a new salt spreader box to assist with snow and ice control. DPW participated in a touch-a-truck event with Barnesdale School. Final asphalt patches were made in various locations, and parkway restorations began from prior excavations. GIS work continued collecting data on village-owned assets, along with continued training throughout the village. Water meters were read in all sections. 15 monthly bacterial water samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed, along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. And routine maintenance of the department's fleet and equipment was completed, as well to police and fire vehicles. Next, we have the salt. Come on. Salt purchase fiscal year 2026. Open purchase order. The purpose is Public Works Department is seeking approval from the board to have an open purchase order with Morton Salt, Inc. to purchase bulk road salt in the amount not to exceed $38,586. The State of Illinois Central Management Services solicited bids for bulk rock salt in the fall of 2025. On September 30th, 2025, the village was informed that Morton Salt, Inc. was awarded our municipality's fiscal year 26 bulk rock salt contract at $64.31 a ton. This current fiscal year, staff requested 500 tons at 100%. We participated in the 80%, 120% program. The village must purchase a minimum of 80 tons, 80%, 400 tons, or can buy up to 120% or 600 tons at the contract price. In the current fiscal year budget, $65,000 is budgeted in the Public Works Fund, $177,0800 to purchase salt. Pursuant to the village procurement policy dated November 1, 2023, the village board may waive its own local competitive procurement process in order to purchase its annual allotment of bulk road salt, relying on the competitive bid process from the state of Illinois. Staff recommends that the board authorize the waiver of the local procurement process and approve an open purchase order with Morton Salt, Inc. for bulk rock salt for winter operations not to exceed $38,586 to cover the maximum allotment at $64.31 per ton. Therefore, make a motion to approve a resolution waiving the local competitive procurement process in favor of approving and authorizing the execution of the State of Illinois salt purchase contract for fiscal year 2026, bulk rock salt supplied by Morton Salt, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $38,586.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. We go through this purchase every year. Remembering years past, this is a pretty good price. Driving by the dump the other day, I noticed that we're pretty full, so hopefully we have a warm winter, and we won't need to purchase much, but at least if we do, we know we'll get a good deal and we'll have the supply handy.
Any other comments? Trustee Zora?
I just had a question for Director Ratty. So I know previously, depending on weather conditions, we spray the streets, and I know we have to do it ahead of time, 24 hours or something like that. So if it snows and we weren't aware, we can't do that. But I'm assuming we're still doing that on top of the salt.
Yes, we do it in a very strategic locations because we don't have the equipment to be able to do all the streets.
Okay.
So we do a priority set of runs that we use the anti-icing for. But again, those are only going to be used for certain scenarios. Like last year, I think we had the opportunity to do it once based upon all the weather criteria we have to meet to be able to put it down. Because if you actually put it down and the temperatures are too cold, it'll actually turn to ice. So you have to have all these parameters. There's like 12 different things we got to look at to say, yes, we can go out anti-ice. But again, last year we did it once.
Okay.
So we do have that capability, but again, it's a small route that we do. We just, we only have like a 400 or 500 gallon tank that we're doing it on the back of a 1 ton, so we can't do the whole entire town. So yes, that helps out in those very small dustings, or even like up to a 1 inch. And really what you're trying to do is prevent that snow from bonding before we can get there on those main arteries that we're hitting.
Okay, thank you. That
You're
was all I
welcome.
had.
Mr. President?
Thank you, trustee Zora. Yes, trustee Sheehan?
Also to piggyback on that, I mean, that's basically put down on the heavier traveled roads. And for those at home wondering, it's environmentally friendly. Basically, it's a beet juice, correct?
Well, it's salt brine, so it's 70% salt solution. So you do have the corrosiveness there. You do have a little bit of calcium chloride just to help with lower temperatures. The beet juice really helps the sticking property to allow all that to stick when the water evaporates. So that's where you're getting you're seeing your 3 or your 8 or 9 distinctive lines that you have on the pavement.
Sure.
Yeah, it does have corrosion, but it's a lot less corrosive than the amount of salt that gets put down during a plowing operation.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Next, we'll go to the disposal of a surplus vehicle, public works dump truck, and snowplow attachment. The purpose is to declare a village-owned vehicle, dump truck, and its snowplow attachment as surplus property and authorize the disposal of such item. Public Works Department has the following item, which has been determined to be surplus. It's a 1999 GMC C7500 with the old plow. Staff recommends the village board approve the proposed ordinance at tonight's meeting. Therefore, I make a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the disposal of surplus personal property owned by the village of Grange Park, a 1999 GMC C7500 dump truck with a snowplow attachment.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. That truck in particular is a beast. It served the village well. We definitely got our money's worth out of it. I support this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. For Director Ratty, how will we go about disposing of this? Is this put on, like a Facebook site? I mean, seriously, how do you anticipate getting rid of it?
Exactly what you just said is one of the things I was going to attempt to do and put it on Facebook Marketplace. I know a lot of people have been doing that lately, getting good results. We don't really have a lot of options except for call some, junk collector car people, where they just come and take it and they just turn it into scrap. Or you have to use these auction sites, and these auction sites are very hard to deal with, and then they're going to want to take a profit. You have to bring everything there. If it doesn't sell, you got to pick it back. I really like the Facebook marketplace and try that as our #1 source, and then from there, if that doesn't work, then we'll have to figure out the next viable solution.
But it does run still?
Yeah, it does run, yeah.
Okay.
It's a beast.
I may actually have someone interested.
I'll drive it over there tonight.
Well, it's Michigan. It's Michigan. Thank you.
I have
Any
a
other
couple quick
comments?
questions.
Yes, trustee
How many
Caputo.
miles does it have on it approximately? Do you know? I don't want to hold you to anything.
Oh, you stumped me there. You just got to remember, these big dump trucks that we have, you're not going to see lots and lots of miles on them because these things just drive around town. They're really not on a highway, gaining all those miles, and they have a hard miles to them because, especially for the main use of them for pushing snow, hauling dirt or debris, they're working. So, miles, I don't have that number. I can get that for you if possible.
I was curious again, like Trustee Lautner asked, in case people are inquiring, they might want to ask. The other question I have is, and I'm sure if you were able to, you would keep it. is the plow attachment worth anything in any other vehicles, or does it only fit that vehicle? Could we repurpose that to another vehicle to save
No.
that without giving it away?
The
with
plow that we're getting rid of it is actually a plow that was purchased for a truck before that.
Okay.
So, I mean, these plows the one I'm getting rid of are not some of the newer ones we purchased in the last 5 years. These are old surplus plows that have just been sitting around, and honestly, they're not even worth to put on the street because they'll just break, and they're very hard to repair compared to the newer style plows that we currently have.
Good, thank you. That's all I have. Thanks for.
Sounds like we're gonna have a bidding war here. Okay, no other comments or questions? Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Next, we'll go resolution in lieu of a surety bond for construction work within the state's right-of-way. Staff requests the village board to approve the Illinois Department of Transportation resolution for construction on state highways. The Illinois Department of Transportation oversees LaGrange Road, 31st Street, and Maple Avenue. Since the village controls the public utilities located within the right-of-way of these roads, work is sometimes carried out in these areas. Example of work covered by this resolution include emergency utility repairs, construction work, and preventative maintenance performed by the village staff. The Illinois Department of Transportation allows municipalities to adopt a resolution in lieu of posting a surety bond whenever work is performed. Standard resolution will cover work performed in 2026 and 2027. Staff recommends approval of the proposed resolution at tonight's meeting. Therefore, make a motion to approve a resolution in lieu of a surety bond for the performance of construction work by the Village of LaGrange Park within the state of Illinois right-of-way for work performed in 2026 and 2027.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a standard resolution. We do this every couple of years. I support.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Lastly, we'll do the renewal agreement with Municipal GIS Partners. The purpose is to renew an agreement with Municipal GIS Partners, Inc., MGP, and approve a supplemental statement of work related to Microsoft 365 implementation. As a member of the Geographic Information System Consortium, the village must enter into an annual agreement with the designated service provider, MGP. MGP has provided a new contract, statement of work, for the calendar year 2026 with a monthly charge of $4,161.88 and a not-to-exceed fee of $49,942.56. It's an increase of 4.49%. Broken down, the $51,000 is in the fiscal year 25-26 budget for GIS. Water and distribution, $20,000. Sewer O&M at $20,000. Motor fuel tax, $5,000. Public works, $6,000. Through this contract with MGP, will continue building the village's GIS system, including underground infrastructure, street lighting, and tree inventory, and developing the online map gallery, including capital improvement projects, TIF and business district projects, zoning map, property search, and community map viewer. At the village board work session meeting on November 11, 2025, the board discussed a proposal from MGP to provide additional services related to Microsoft Business Application configuration, development, and maintenance. MGP has provided a supplemental statement of work for these additional services with a monthly charge of $1,850 and a not-to-exceed fee of $24,050 for a one-year period. Funding for this initiative is included in the fiscal year 25-26 budget, which allocates $36,000 across the general, water, and sewer funds for cloud-based email implementation and transition. Staff recommends renewing the agreement with MGP and approving the supplemental statement of work related to the Microsoft 365 implementation. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to approve a resolution approving a service provider contract for the performance of Geographic Information Systems, GIS, services between the Village of LaGrange Park and Municipal GIS Partners, Inc., contract term 1 year with a not-to-exceed fee of $73,992.56.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion, trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. As I previously stated, we talked about this at the work session. I'm really excited, all the stuff that's going on with GIS saves time for the workers out in the field for public works, helps the residents with the leaf pickup, other things we'll incorporate, and then we talked about adding the cloud. I support this. They've
Thank you,
served us
trustee
well.
Sheehan. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
That concludes Public Works, Mr. President.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan. Okay, moving on to Finance Committee, trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the finance area this evening, I have two items. First of all, the financial update through the mid part of fiscal year 25-26. Fiscal year to date, general fund revenue of $3,965,057 is at 32.5% of the annual budget, and $2,193,757, or 35.6% lower than last year. The decrease is due to the delay with Cook County issuing the property tax bills, which now we've all received. Property tax receipts are $2,055,179, or 99.2% lower than last year. Cook County did not issue the second installment property tax bills until November 14th, with a due date of December 15th, as opposed to prior years when bills were issued in July and due in August. Other local taxes are $224,690, or 36.3% lower than last year. Payments in lieu of taxes for this year were invoiced later this year, as they are dependent on property tax reports. Intergovernmental receipts are up $39,624, or 1.8% from last year. Sales tax and income tax continue to trend higher, while use tax and personal property replacement tax are lower than last year. The state use tax decline was anticipated due to sales tax legislation, which moved taxes on some out-of-state and online purchases from the use tax to the state and local sales taxes. However, the decline is significantly more than expected. Licenses and registration fees are at $2,631, or 1.2% less than last year. Permit receipts are $825, or 0.4% less than the prior year. Charges for services are at $162,407, or 36.3% higher than last year, and that's due to the timing of an annual water tower lease payment and an increase in ambulance service fees. Fine revenue of $77,189 is at $322, or 0.4% greater than last year, and miscellaneous revenue of $193,330, or $112,785, or 36.8% less than last year, and that's due primarily to lower interest revenue. Interest rates have declined over the past year following rate cuts by the Federal Reserve. Additionally, general fund cash reserves are lower due to the delay in property tax bills and the transfer to the sewer fund in the prior fiscal year to support the Central Area Sewer Separation Project. Total general fund expenditures of $5,135,798 are at 42.2% of the annual budget, and that's $4,417, or 0.1% lower than last year. And importantly, all departments are within budget expectations. Our police department is lower than last year due to the delay in village's police pension contribution, which occurs as property taxes are received. And I do have one item for action that we've talked about over the last few meetings, and it's regarding the 2025 property tax levy. The background in this, you recall, is the village's annual property tax levy is restricted by the Illinois Property Tax Extension Limitation Law, as we call PTAL. The PTAL limits the amount the village may increase the aggregate levy each year to the lesser of 5% or the change in the consumer price index. The term aggregate levy is specifically defined by the Truth in Taxation Law to include the corporate and special purpose levies, and it excludes levies for debt service. For the 2025 levy, the PTAL CPI change is 2.9%, and it's therefore, that's the limiting factor. The PTAL authorizes the village to levy additional taxes on new property value. Over the past 10 years, the value of new property has ranged between 0% and 0.35% of the village's total equalized assessed value. We will not know the actual amount of new value for 2025 until well after the village's tax levy ordinance is due to be filed with the county. As such, an estimated increase of 1% has been incorporated into the levy estimate calculation to ensure all potential new value is included. The county is then required to reduce the village's actual extension to the amount allowed under the PTAL. The village board approved an estimated aggregate levy for 2025 at the October board meeting in the amount of $4,648,220, which is 4% above the 2024 extension of $4,471,416. Cook County recently finalized the 2024 property tax bills, and no adjustments to the village's 2025 proposed levy amount are necessary. The proposed 2025 aggregate levy is less than a 5% increase compared to 2024, and therefore a public hearing is not required by the Truth in Taxation law. It is important to note that for most residents, the actual increase in the village's aggregate property tax levy should be approximately the PTAL restricted amount of 2.9%. The estimate is the 4% total increase includes the 1% new value estimate. So the village's levy will also include the debt service for the 2016 road and fire equipment bonds, including the debt service for the bonds. The total impact to a village homeowner, let me say it slowly, the total impact to a village homeowner is projected to be approximately a 3% increase. So for example, for the owner of a home valued at $450,000, the estimated annual increase is approximately $44 for the year. Unless directed otherwise, the Cook County will add 3% to the village's aggregate levy to offset uncollectible taxes. As has been done in the past, 2025 levy ordinance directs the county to reduce the loss factor to 2% based on the village's collection history, except for debt service. This additional amount does not increase the total levy allowed under the PTAL. This evening, there's two proposed ordinance that I'll be covering and presenting. The first ordinance authorizes the county clerk to extend the village's proposed 2025 property tax levy. The second ordinance provides the county clerk direction on how to reduce the village's 2025 property tax levy to the PTAL allowed amount. So as in the past, the second ordinance directs the Cook County clerk to apply any reduction due to PTAL to the corporate levy. This ensures the special purpose amounts, such as for the police pension, will be fully levied. Additional ordinances to abate the debt service for the 2014 and 2016 bonds will be included on the January Village Board meeting agenda for our discussion and action. Staff recommends the Village Board approve the 2025 property tax levy ordinance and PTAL reduction ordinance at this evening's meeting of November 25th. So the first motion I'd like to submit, a motion to approve an ordinance providing for the annual tax levy for the Village of Grange Park, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2025 and ending April 30, 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion.
Thank you, Mr.
Trustee
President.
Lautner?
Yes, as we've discussed this several times leading up to this point, this is the official action to move forward with the tax levy from the county. And it's good to get this going. It's good that the tax reports have finally been released, and so money should start flowing into the village. So yes, I would support this.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
And the second motion that I'm submitting this evening is a motion to approve an ordinance providing for specific reductions of the 2025 annual property tax levy pursuant to the property tax extension limitation law.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, discussion.
No additional discussion or comments as mentioned in the write-up. I support this to move forward.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner? Yes. Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo? Trustee Diafario?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And I believe that's all from the finance area this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Okay, moving on to other reports. Our village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Our village treasurer is not here tonight. Our commercial revitalization committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a few items to report. Progress continues on the village's 31st Street Corridor Transportation Plan, an important initiative focused on improving safety, accessibility, and the overall vibrancy of 31st Street and Barnsdale. Thank you for all who attended the public open house on October 15th and shared your feedback. If you are not able to join, we invite you to explore the interactive project map where community members have highlighted what they value most about the corridor as well as opportunities for improvement. Community input pointed to opportunities for beautification, improved signage, expanded bicycle accommodations, and enhanced landscaping. Challenges identified in the area include traffic congestion, hazardous intersections, and unclear parking signage. Overall, residents express clear goals for the project: safer crossings, a more attractive and welcoming streetscape, and better bicycle connectivity. Next, the project consultant will use this input along with ongoing data collection to develop design alternatives for village review. The village is now accepting applications for the facade and property revitalization program, which assists property and business owners who aim to enhance the external appearances of their properties. In order to be eligible, a building must be used for commercial purposes and must be located within one of the village's TIF and/or business districts. Visit the village's website for more information. The Winter Tree Wonderland. Many of the Chamber of Commerce members will take part in creatively decorating trees for all to see at Memorial Park this season. Please be sure to walk through the Winter Tree Wonderland during the village's annual tree lighting ceremony on Friday, December 5th. The next Commercial Revitalization Committee meeting will take place on Tuesday, January 13th at 6:30 p.m. at Village Hall. Businesses and members of the public are invited to attend and provide input on how the village can best support new and existing businesses and enhance the commercial areas in the Grange Park. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Village engineer. Council.
No report tonight, Mr. President.
Motion to approve committee and collectors reports as presented.
Oh, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I just have a couple comments. When I was contacted by Hank Beckman, our liaison to the patch and to do an article about the Take 5 program and us getting our speed limit reduced, he did a great job with the article. I did mention some other names in there that were not mentioned in the article, and I didn't want to be remiss in naming those people. And one of them is Rick Ratty, and the other one is Mark Lucas. And I think I got everybody else, Maggie and the chiefs and everybody in there, and the board, and Julia, Hank with the local Tribune. He does a great job for us, and I want to thank Hank. He's not here tonight, obviously, but I want to thank him for all the work he does. He does place a priority on our village, and we really appreciate that, because there was a time when we would get 2 or 3 papers and then we would get nothing, and now Hank seems to be the lone survivor out there that continues to come to our meeting. And that's fine, and Hank does a great job for us. I also want to thank LTTV, who continues to program our board meetings and transmit it, and they do a wonderful job. I know they have a couple interns in there tonight, and I want to thank them for being here and listen to your colleagues, because they can give you a lot of information. And then, you know, it's the season now for Thanksgiving, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention, we don't need Thanksgiving to make us realize how grateful we are to be here. But I will, and it's one of my favorite times of the year, to tell the board, the council, Julia, Maggie, the chiefs, Mark, Rick, Ed, thank you for all that you do. I'm very grateful to be a part of this. I'm grateful that we have the village that we have, and it wouldn't be in the position it is without all of you. I know you're very dedicated, you work hard for us, and I know that the board up here appreciates everything that you guys do and the amount of time you put in to make our community the place we call home. So I'm very grateful to all of you. And then on behalf of the board and the staff, I want to thank our residents. Have a happy Thanksgiving to you. We're very grateful. We wouldn't be doing this without your support, so we thank you for your support. We hope you have a healthy and happy holiday season. But it's a time that we can reflect and look at how grateful we are and all that we have. And I think this board and our staff do it every day of the year. So it's not really special for this time, but it's the time that we talk about it. So thank all of you for all that you do. That's all that I have. So public participation. Did you want to speak to the board?
No, I came to listen.
Thank you for being here.
It's a skill, or it's a thing that a lot of people don't do. So I try to practice what I am passionate about, is listening. Thank you all for all of your service, I agree. I came to listen and I learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. It's for you and people like you, our residents, that we do this, so thank you. Okay, any new business?
Mr. President?
Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, if I might. On the way over tonight on News Radio 78, I heard that the Board of Review, because of everything that's happened with the tax bills going out so late, has reopened the window for appeals on all townships. Maybe tomorrow on the abbreviated e-briefs that goes out, maybe we could put something on. I just don't know when the window is going to close, but I did hear that it's open for all townships, so it might be something to look at.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
Can I add one, please, President DeCipio? I don't know if it's a typo. I'm looking at items of interest for the future, and it says we have a village board meeting December 8th, but that's a Monday, so I think it's supposed to be December 9th. And then I saw village workshop January 12th, which is also a Monday, and I think that's supposed to be the 13th. So I just want to bring that to our attention.
Thank you, Trustee Caputo.
No problem. Thank you. That's all I have.
See, we're grateful every day, see? Okay, without that, everyone have a great holiday season, have a great Thanksgiving. We do come back to meet on December 9th-ish.
No, December 9th. There's no ish.
Okay, we come back on December 9th. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to close, to
So moved.
close. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a great Thanksgiving, thank you. Council, thank you, my friend.
Oh, hey, good to see you.
You're the best.
Happy Thanksgiving, you and the fam.
Yes, yes, you too.
Yes.
Trustee Lott.